What's up, gotcha gamers, and in today's video we're going to talk about who you should be re-rolling for in Black Clover Mobile. Maybe. We're going to talk about basically the skill changes that they got done from the beta till now, and take a look at all the characters that are actually on the banner and all the characters that are actually in the game. We'll take a look at the reroll banner and everything like that. But before we hop into that, I do want to give a shout out to Gikku, Kaku, and also Black Clover Mobile News. This is where I get all of my information from. Let's be honest, the data miners kind of go crazy with it. But yeah, this is where I get my information from. So if you're from my community, you like Black Clover Mobile and you want to play it, my cats were running. I don't know what the fuck just happened there. Then go, please give them a follow. I'll put all their information in the description below so you guys can go subscribe to them too. So yeah, let's go ahead and hop into it now. Alright, so first things first, let's hop into the current characters that are in the game right now, or the current character roster that the game is going to be launching with. It's going to be 51 characters in all, but the main ones we really care about are going to be the SSR units, which there are 21 of. And a lot of these SSRs did get reworked. We're going to talk about which ones are actually going to be different now and which ones you should maybe be pulling for. So yeah, on screen here you see all the SSRs here. I'm not going to go list out all 21 because that's just a kind of a waste of time. You guys can see it here on screen. I'll do a little scroll through effect to it for you. On top of this, guys, we're also going to have a free selective summon banner, which is kind of like a reroll system. Sometimes gacha games do this, whereas it'll give you like a certain amount of free pulls. You can just keep rolling until you get the multi-summon that you want. In Black Clover Mobile, as of right now, you're going to actually get 20 rolls to choose from. And what's cool about this one, guys, is you're actually able to choose the summon that you want. So say you get a summon with Daddy Yami on it, and you say, oh, I kind of want Yami. But I might get Yami and someone else later on down the line, then you just click save on it and you just keep doing your summons. And if you don't get anything else, then woohoo, you get to keep your summon that you saved. But if you do get that summon with multiple SSRs that you want to keep instead of that one, then you can save that one instead. And honestly, I think this is really great for people that are trying to just play the game. I think rerolling in games is kind of down bad because you spend like 2 hours, 3 hours rerolling for a game to get the character you want. I think this streamlines it a lot. Not to say that you're not going to reroll still, but this will get you a great start, especially for players that just want to hop into the game and start playing. I think this can also give them the opportunity to get a great start. Alright guys, so hopping on here at blackclovermobile.com, we're going to talk about some of the characters now that could be really good and help you out early game. And maybe even to mid game as well, not knowing too much about PvP and stuff like that. But guys, yeah, let's go ahead and hop into it now. First off, we have the boy Jack here. Jack is going to be doing AoE attacks with his first skill. Now, why the first skill is important is because the first skill doesn't have any recharge or anything like that. The second skill has a recharge, and then the ultimate, of course, has an energy recharge, like you need a certain amount of energy to activate it. And having an AoE skill in just about any gacha is just really OP for early game content and even some mid game content as well. You really want AoE attacks. You can just chop down enemies really fast and you can just keep moving and moving on through the level. How you guys gonna tell if an enemy's AoE or not is by this little marker right here. If it has like the hexagon with like a blast in front of it, that means it's AoE. And if it has a hexagon with an arrow pointing forward, that means it's a single target ability. So for Jack, his skill 1 is gonna be AoE. Everything else is gonna be single target. This is why I think he can be pretty good, because you can just cleave through the enemies most of the time with his AoE ability, and then using his single targets ability after that to really kill bosses and kill harder to kill units in the game. So I think he is probably a pretty good choice to choose from when you first start the game off. Talking about another character you guys should be pulling for, and that's going to be Rill. Rill actually did change from the beta as well. His skill 2, which was a counterattack, did change from a counterattack single target skill to an AoE skill. So his skill 2 is going to be an AoE skill now. And on top of that, his ultimate's also going to be an AoE skill, so he's just going to be an AoE slayer. He's going to be just slaying everything just with AoE attacks in general, and he just seems really good to be pulling for because, like I said, AoE is going to help you cleave through the game a lot. And his skill 1 is honestly not that bad either, because he's going to have a chance to either apply burn to an enemy, received healing reduction, or freeze to the enemy. Freeze is the big one there, because usually freeze is the most powerful thing in any type of turn-based game there is. So having this freeze ability on his level 1, or at least a chance for it anyways, is just really, really big. Also, the burn 2 could help out if you're using Leo, because his attack does scale after the enemy is burned, and you could be giving this status effect to the enemies potentially with Rill. So you have two really big upsides here, that being burn and freeze. Now the received healing reduction could be good, just depends on how much the enemies are being healed. This could be something better for like arena or PvP or something like that, but as of right now, the freeze and the burn are the big two things for me as far as early game content goes. Alright guys, now talking about Yami, you know, the daddy. Oh, I love Yami so much. I'm actually just pulling for Yami just because I want Yami. But yeah, something did change with him. His first skill is now an AoE attack, which just makes him really strong, so you're not having to wait turns to use an AoE attack now with him. You can just use the AoE attack right out of the gate, and it's just pretty strong. You know, like I said before, AoE attacks are really strong. So yeah, it's just pretty good. AoE attacks from skill 1 is just pretty good, and I think that's all I really have to say about that. I think Yami's just going to be pretty strong in general. I mean, he has a lot of single target attack. He plays pretty closely to how Jack is going to play. I think he's going to be a nice like stage clear and also boss slayer as well. Alright, and talking about someone else, this is actually someone that I learned about from Gikku, Mr. Lotus Man. He's going to be having AoE attacks off of his normal attack and his ultimate attack, which means you don't really have to use a skill to get this AoE out, and it's also going to be applying debuffs to the enemy as well, that being attack reduction or a crit percent reduction to the enemy, which can help you out a lot, especially if you're struggling with some stages. If the enemies are just cleaving you down, attack reduction can help you out quite a bit with this. And that's really who I think you guys should be pulling for, either Jack, Rill, Yami, Mr. Lotus Man here. We won't be hopping into like these seasonal characters because they were all really cracked in the beta. I mean, Mimosa, absolutely cracked healer. Juno, absolutely cracked AoE unit. And Asta, absolutely cracked single target unit. So if you get one of those characters, they're going to be probably the best in their respective categories as the game stands right now. That could have changed. But I do think they'll probably still be the best in slot. So, I mean, take that how you will. Summon for those if you want to summon for those. But I'm not really going to be digging too much into those today. I'm just digging into the characters that are going to be on the standard banner or the first reroll banner. Anyways, guys, those are the recommendations that I have for you guys today. Like I said before, guys, make sure to follow all those guys that I mentioned before, that being Gikku, Kaku, and also Black Clover Mobile News on Twitter. So yeah, that's gonna do it for today's video. Hope everyone enjoyed. Maybe subscribe as well if you want some more Black Clover content from me. And yeah, that's gonna do it, guys. See you later. Bye bye.